What is going on, Nuggets Nation, NBA fans? My name is Tom Leuthner. Welcome back to another episode of Nuggets Today, presented by Fan Arch. If you guys are new, you know the deal. Hit that like and subscribe button, as well as leave a comment if you guys want me to cover anything at all. And obviously, we're going to be talking a little bit of Nugget stuff here. We are closing in on what seems like it's been 2 weeks for finally having a game day. So, closing in on a game day. But there has been some bad news for Denver. I don't want to say bad necessarily, but it seems like AG and CB are going to miss majority of the month. I think the last update I saw is that they'll probably be spending Christmas with their families, opening gifts, not playing basketball. So it's a little tough to lose them. I did talk about it a little bit in the last episode, is that the near future probably doesn't hold them two in store, and it seems that way. I wish that Denver was able to get a Christmas gift and open it up, and it's AG and CB getting ready to play some basketball. But unfortunately, we still have to wait. So nothing is guaranteed with them. No timeable return from what I've seen or what I've heard. And you sort of hope that everything's going okay and they're able to just heal. Denver's been able to hold themselves up without them too, which is fantastic, because when they come back, they'll probably continue to dominate the Western Conference, you'd hope. The only thing that has been lackluster without the two of them has been their defense. Denver's defense went from, I believe, top 5 to mid to bottom tier now without them two. And it's funny because you play defensive guys and the lineups just don't always work, especially when you're missing two guys who are just menaces and pests on defense in CB and AG. AG is a bigger body than P. Watt, so it makes it a lot easier to guard the 1 through 5 at any point on the floor, just because the speed is there, the strength is there, the agility is there, the athleticism is there. And with CB, the thing is, his speed is just going to get you there every time. His grittiness, the hustle and determination that he has really been massive for this Denver defense. And not only is it great there, but it also allows you to have two great defenders in Jones and Peyton Watson come off the bench, which is what Denver doesn't have right now. They have Bruce Tim, missing Strother, and then your last guy is Zeke Naji or Jalen Pickett or Hunter Tyson or one of those guys. And I know that Val isn't the best defensive center in the world, so it also allows P. Watt to help out down low. Same thing with Zeke Naji a little bit right now, but you have the ability to play P. Watt and Zeke Naji together if you want when they come back. But until that time, you really don't have much to do. You have the bench unit that you have, and that's all that you're given. So maybe you see Duran here and there, but I doubt it. Denver seems very hesitant to play him, which, so be it at this point. I'm not really going to complain about it anymore, and I'll get into PY in a little bit. But yeah, I think it's a massive loss for Denver, and it has been so far. It's really affected their roster to this point. But like I said, they're still good enough to win, which is a massive accomplishment for Denver, just because usually when guys go down, they have a little bit of a tough time making up for it, but they've been able to do so. And one of the biggest factors in doing that is obviously Peyton Watson, a guy who has been dominant so far in the absence of AG and CB, and he continues to dominate. Now, my whole question going forward, now that we know that these two are out for majority of the month of December, can P-Watt keep it up? And if so, what does Denver do? Because he's not extended right now. If you want to extend him, there goes all your money. You have no money left to do anything realistically. Who knows what happens with this Valanciunas contract, and you know, so be it. And so on, and who's going to get extended if Tim comes back, if Bruce comes back. But too early to get into that. But it's more of a conversation of, does Peyton Watson get the extension? And if he doesn't, what happens if he does keep this up? I do think that he's a valuable player if you are going to look to trade him, which I don't think Denver should do. I think they just ride it out, and hopefully you get him in the offseason for a valuable deal, or a deal that is works for both sides and is I don't really know how to phrase the word I'm looking for, but I don't want to say that you sort of fleeced Peyton Watson, but if you can get a deal where you can, I don't want to see that happen. P-Watt deserves to be paid, especially after the year he's having right now. So I think that it just comes down to, what can Denver do if he is playing this well and if he can really keep it up? He's been a great shooter for Denver. He has the confidence to just let it fly. But the only thing is that he still struggles, I feel like, finishing at the rim. Like, you know, he has his ferocious dunks here and there, his athletic dunks, but I just feel like he gets in transition and he has to learn how to just be more consistent at finishing by the rim. But I'm pleasantly surprised at what he has been and what he is, because the entire offseason, if you guys go back and watch the episodes, all I've talked about is, if Denver should trade somebody, if they're going to trade somebody, I think it should be Peyton Watson, because he hasn't been playing well, and he sort of didn't contribute anything offensively. And I said the one thing that I think he needs to do is step up offensively in order to get paid, and it looks like he's doing that. So, like I said, I don't know if Denver is going to be able to do that. I don't know if Denver will look to find a team that suits him, that will be willing to extend him if they can get an expiring vet, or if they can bring in somebody that just makes sense, who's on a 2 or 3 year deal that's cheap. I really don't know. I mean, there's no implications that Denver's going to trade him. I think it just remains one of the main conversations to be had with the trade deadline coming up in I believe it's a month and a half now. It is one of the conversations to be had. And then you start looking at teams. And one team I think that has something that I wouldn't trade Peyton Watson for, right? I wouldn't. I would not trade Peyton Watson for this piece, so do not think I'm saying that. But there's one player on the Clippers that I would love to get if I'm Denver, and that is Chris Dunn. I think Chris Dunn addresses all Denver's problems off the bench. And I know everybody's going to say in the comments, or if anybody's going to comment at all, well, Russell Westbrook could have done that. And yes, yeah, I agree. Listen, I do. I agree. But the management at the time had different plans. You obviously look at what they supposedly said, and it was that he should just decline his option because they don't want him there. They're going to play younger guys over him. And that younger guy is probably Jalen Pickett, who does not deserve to be on the roster. I'm just ready for him and Hunter Tyson to get waived and go on with their lives elsewhere. If they are good, they're good. If they're great, they're great. Just not on Denver because they haven't shown that they are. But I do think Chris Dunn can be a problem solver for Denver's bench. I wouldn't trade Peyton Watson if I don't have to, but like I said last episode, there may be an option where Duran may have to be on the table, or Julian Strother, and if that's the case, we're able to get him, go ahead and do so. I do think that he'd be great for the bench. Another guy that I would like, but I wouldn't pay too much for him, Nick Batum. If that comes down to like Jalen Pickett or Hunter Tyson for Nick Batum, I would take it in a heartbeat. I actually loved what he did against Denver in the playoffs defensively. I think that he's still a good player. He can still stretch the floor. He's a guy who is just known in the league as a very good vet. I know he's not having a good year, but if you're able to get him for cheap because of it, and you're able to get rid of like a guy like Pickett, and he could come in and help get some rebounds, play some defense, and he was able to guard guards, and that was the big thing I think for Denver, was lengthy body who was able to play up top here and there, not full possessions, but he was also playing on the big, so I think he could be massive for Denver. The last thing I want to talk about is obviously the upcoming game. And finally, Denver gets to go against Russell Westbrook again. And it's going to be exciting to see. And I'm wondering how Denver's going to play it. You need to come out and win again. You can't lose again, especially against Russell Westbrook, just because of how the last game went, where he fully took over in the fourth quarter and dominated, and Denver loses. And then you have to hear from all the Kings fans. But I think that Denver should be able to get a win. I think they're 6-17 right now, the Kings. And hopefully I'll be able to get a post-game episode out for you guys. But should be a good game, you would hope. I think that Denver should be able to take it depending on injuries and what happens. But I'm going to do my best to get you guys out an episode out Saturday morning. If not, it's going to be Sunday morning. I will try to get another episode out for you guys tomorrow morning. And that is all I got for you guys. So like I said, hit that like and subscribe button. Comment down below if you guys want me to cover anything. And I'll see you guys later.